Welcome back. This is the sixth episode of the Barrel Zone. Today we are going to do an NBA betting market rundown for Wednesday. Today is the 6th of January. We have a nice fat 11 game slate. I already have 5 bets in. It's the most I've had this whole season. I do think this is probably the best slate to bet so far. We will see how it goes. I'll put up the odds screen in a second. If you have any feedback, comment, you can reach me on Twitter at the Barrel Zone. If you want to tear my plays and read my written analysis, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone. And I'm going to put up the odds screen now. We will use Sports Insights as always. And the first game on the slate is the Pacers hosting the Houston Rockets. It's a very interesting game. The line opened Pacers -1.5, and we are up to 2, and it's leaning towards 2.5. So we will probably see 2.5 at some point. This game is pretty difficult to handicap, in my opinion. I think we do have a good sense of what the Pacers are by right now. They have always been a top 10 defense, and I think they elevated their offense considerably this season. Oladipo is looking much better. Sabonis is making some leaps. I think they are a top 10 team both defensively and offensively. On the other side, with Houston, we don't know a lot. They had the COVID issue. Gordon, Wall, and Cousins were all out 3 or 4 games. They've missed Harden for 2 games. I mean, there isn't a lot of chemistry there, and we've seen it in the game against Dallas. So if you want to rate Houston, you probably have to take a stand somewhere between their potential and what we've seen so far. Because if you go by what we've seen so far, the Pacers would be 4, 5, even 6 points favorites here. I think that's the honest truth. So yeah, I kind of make the line a bit more towards Pacers -3.5, 3.5. I think we will move towards that because Indiana is at this point a pretty finished team. You can see what they want to do. They can execute it, and they are looking better than in any of the last few years. On the other side, I mean, Houston is it's just still work in progress. Not much chemistry. Overall, both of these teams are fine offensively, but the defensive numbers of Houston are just bottom 5 so far. So yeah, the Pacers will have a huge edge when it comes to that. They have the way better defense. The only weak spot what I see in with Indiana is the rebounding. They are still beyond the other top teams when it comes to rebounding, but thankfully to them, Houston is like the 27th or 28th best rebounding team on both sides of the ball. So yeah, I don't think that will really matter here. It will matter against better rebounding teams, but not really here. So yeah, the Pacers allow the 5th lowest points per possession, and they force tons of turnovers. I think at this price you can only look at backing Indiana. This is giving the Rockets enough credit. They still can be a good team. I mean, it could click even here or within a game or two. But I think in this season you are better off going with the more established teams. That is completely true for the next game. Philadelphia Sixers hosting the Washington Wizards. This game opened Philly -8. It was instantly bet to -6. So we had some Wizards money showing at an 8. And now we sit around -7, 7.5. Yeah, it's a 7, but it's leaning towards 7.5 on Pinnacle. if you are watching the odd screen. So yeah, the Wizards started the season 0-5. They've won 2 games since then. I didn't really upgrade them of the Timberwolves win. They also beat the Nets. I think the Nets have some issues, but that's obviously a pretty nice win to have, especially this early in the season. What my main problem with the Wizards is still Westbrook. He is there are a few stats here that I'm going to throw out there, and yeah, and you can judge for yourself. So Westbrook has a 35% usage rate. It's extremely high, one of the highest in the league, and he's averaging 91 points per 100 shot attempts. That's the bottom 15% of the league. So like that's incredibly bad. Basically, he is minus EV, and the good stats you can see is all because he has a high usage rate, and he's putting up tons of shots, and he's handling the ball a lot. But I mean, he isn't playing good basketball right now. And besides him, I mean, Beal is a great player on both ends of the floor, and I really like Thomas Bryant, but he isn't that good defensively. And I mean, going up against Embiid, this is going to be a tough ask, in my opinion. If we check the offensive numbers of both clubs, the Wizards are actually grading a bit better than Philly, but both teams are between the 10th and the 15th best offenses. But yeah, the Wizards still have good numbers because of Beal and Bryant mostly. But where Philly will have a huge advantage is of course the defense. I'm saying this for weeks now. They are the best defense right now in the whole NBA, and they are only allowing 100 points per 100 possessions, and the effective field goal percentage they allow is 48.9%. It's also the best in the league. I mean, if you do that, combined with the strong rebounding they have, you will find success in this league. So yeah, I think they will be able to slow down the Wizards with their rebounding edge, with their top-notch defense, and basically you can let Westbrook do whatever he wants to do, as he isn't going to hurt you using him over any other player. Probably this Wizard squad isn't really plus CV. And Bryant, I think, will face a huge mismatch with Embiid, and I think yeah, Philly will be able to slow Bill down as well. So yeah, I don't understand the early Wizards money. I kind of lean towards Philly at the current number, and I think the opener around -8 was right. I'm not sure if we will go back there or not. One thing to note that Philly has a back-to-back tomorrow. They are playing in Brooklyn, but I don't think they will sit anyone here. Even if they do, I think they will probably cover this number. Next game on the board, Orlando Magic hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Orlando is laying 6 points. The game is off the board on Penny and the Sharp sites, as Fournier is still questionable. He's missed 2 or 3 games already with some back problems. As I said, he's a highly efficient player, decent usage rate. He's worth a point or so in my opinion. But I mean, Tyson Ross got most of his minutes while he was out, and he's a great player. And Orlando is just making this work without him so far. The Magic, I mean, they are a decent team. They have strong stuff on both sides of the ball. Top 10 defense, I think that's unquestionable if you look at the metrics. But they have like a league average offense, so they will be able to put up some points. With Cleveland, I'm always seeing these guys are playing a strong defense. They really want to play. They force the highest turnover rate in the league right now. They only allow 102 points per 100 possessions. That's the best behind Philly, actually. So it's a strong defense, but I mean, if you look at any offensive metric, they are like bottom 5 in the league, bottom 10. They put up the second lowest points per possession, 10th lowest field goal percentage. They produce the third highest turnover rate. They have the second lowest free throw rate. I mean, it's I think the Magic will be able to stop them. This is a rematch. We've seen the same matchup, I think, 2 days ago. I'm going to check the score. Yeah, the Magic won by 20, and I think that closed a bit higher than the current -6 we are seeing. So yeah, there is a decent shot this gets out to 6.5 or 7. I don't see why it would move towards Cleveland. I mean, they won't win too many games against teams who know what they are doing, and the Magic guys certainly know that. So yeah, no action in my opinion. If this gets down even like to 5.5, I would probably hop on Orlando. Next game on the docket, Miami Heat hosting the Boston Celtics. This opened Miami -3.5. That lasted for like a minute, and we are sitting at -2.5. This is a lot of respect for Miami here. As I said against the before the OKC game, where they were huge favorites, that I show an edge on OKC, but I'm not going to play them. I think Miami will be able to blow them out. They've played an extremely tough schedule. They've been without Butler for multiple games. When he came back, he didn't look right. So yeah, there is some of that factored in here. So Miami is certainly getting some more respect, like Houston. We haven't seen their full potential, and I think books are smartly giving them a bit of an extra respect. But I think it's too much here. So I like Boston overall. I have them rated as a top 5 offense at the moment. Defensively, they aren't very good, but they are strong offense, and they have the 5th highest offensive rebounding rate in the league. And Miami is the dead last when it comes to denying offensive rebounds. I'm always talking about this. This is such an important factor. If you just let the other team get second chance points and dominate the paint, you are going to be screwed. And yeah, I think matchup wise, this is still looking good for Boston, and Miami is getting a bit too much credit, to be honest. If I would line this would be probably close to a pick 'em. Boston has Smart and Teague as questionable, but the last time Smart was out 2 days ago, there were news about it being just precautionary. I think he had like a thumb issue on the same thumb that was surgically repaired earlier. So yeah, they are taking it lightly, obviously protecting him, but I do think he will play. Even if he is out, I would probably get on the Celtics, even if this if he's out, this will move to 3.5 or even maybe 4. Yeah, we've seen the same movement against the Celtics with the Raptors, and yeah, that didn't work out well for those who faded the Celtics. I think they are the better team right now, and they will probably stay the better team through the season. With how like home field or home court is currently setting up, there isn't too much of a home court advantage. So I mean, this line is telling me that like the Heat are a better team than the Celtics. I don't think so. Next game, another line where I don't really agree with what's going on. The Hawks are hosting the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, this is kind of a buy low on Atlanta. They lost to New York and Cleveland, and while those aren't strong teams, I've been always saying those are two strong defenses. I have both Cleveland and New York so far in the season ranked in my top 6 when it comes to defenses. So they slowed the Hawks down. Atlanta scored 91 and 108 points in those 2 games. I don't think the Hornets will be able to do that. They aren't a terrible defense, but they are like league average. And even after those two bad offensive showings, the Hawks are putting up the third most points per possession, the 10th highest effective field goal percentage, fourth in offensive rebounding, first in free throw rate. I mean, it's looking good, and they still have a decent defense. It's not like world beater and anything, but they have like a league average defense that's going to face a bottom five offense of Charlotte. And all this while Charlotte has the problems in the starting lineup. I mean, Graham had a great game, but he's still like shooting 30% through the season with super high usage rate. PJ Washington, their starting PF, had a thumb issue. He was limited the last time out. Something's not right there. So yeah, they have problems in the rotation. They aren't good defensively. They won't be able to stop the Hawks. I don't think they can put up enough points to cover this. And I mean, just look at the Hawks Knicks game from a few days ago. The Hawks closed like -7 or so, -7.5, probably -7, and this is like -6. I don't think so. I mean, at this point, the Knicks are a better team than the Hornets. I don't think that's debatable. So yeah, this line move is interesting, and I don't really agree with it. I think this is a time to buy low on the Hawks. There was all kinds of hype around them when they played the Nets just a few games ago, and now they're getting a bit disrespected. Next game on the board, New York Knicks hosting the Utah Jazz. This open Jazz -6.5, and this is off the board right now as the Jazz just played the game last night. So it's a third in fourth for them in the back-to-back. Basically, they got blown out against Brooklyn, but it was handled well as they got down by 20 points in the first quarter, and behind that, I mean, they were just punting the game. So the minutes were kind of kept low. Everyone played around 27, 28 minutes. I think Mitchell was the only one who played a bit more. So yeah, they realized quickly they won't win that game, and the way coaches do this season, they just really quickly let it go and didn't even try to fight back. They have a game today. I mean, it's completely understandable. This will be a difficult game. We have two good defenses. We know, like, New York likes to play these strong, slow defensive games. But I mean, I still have the Utah defense rated a bit higher. They have a huge offensive edge, obviously. Like, I have the Jazz rated as the 12th best defense at the moment, and the New York the 25th. So yeah, that's some difference. And while New York is still a strong rebounding team, the Jazz are the best rebounding team at the moment, in my opinion, along with the Pelicans. So yeah, stronger defense, much stronger offense, good rebounding. I think if this is around -6, you don't find value. I would probably make it around 5.5 with Utah. We might see some overcorrection after this ugly loss, but I don't think you will get a bargain with such a good team. People will want to back the Jazz even of this loss. So I think we won't find any value here. This will probably close around 5.5 or 6, and I think that's the right number. Next game on the docket, New Orleans Pelicans hosting the OKC Thunder. This is a big spread. I mean, I like the Pelicans. As you know, I'm always saying the strong rebounding, and they are really good at drawing free throws. Those two things let you get away with many mistakes. And when you look at their numbers, they're just not efficient at all offensively. They put up the 20th most points per possession. They are 24th in effective field goal percentage, and they are producing the 5th most turnovers. I don't like what the Pelicans are doing right now. They have the five best players in the starting lineup. They are all excelling at different stuff. Their bench isn't really good. So yeah, I would probably just mix some things up there in with the rotation. But obviously, I'm not the coach. They probably know it better than me. Hopefully, but I cannot lay 8 points with the Pelicans. I mean, with this defense, it's pretty similar with the like we had last night with the Portland Blazers. This is such a bad defense, and if you look at the numbers, it's you cannot lay like 8 to 10 points or stuff like that. You will get scored upon even by a bad OKC offense. And defensively, OKC is like league average, but they limit shooting efficiency pretty well, and they don't give you that many free throws. And yeah, the Pelicans live and die by that. So yeah, if this gets like to 9, I would probably bet OKC. They could still get out rebounded and dominated, but the Pelicans aren't a team that's going to cover these numbers even against worse teams, in my opinion. Next game, Milwaukee Bucks, Detroit Pistons. I'm going to be just yeah. This skip this game. I make it 13.5. The spread is 13.5. It's a rematch. Milwaukee won by 10 in the first game. They closed north of 15, so they didn't cover. But it was yeah, Griffin wasn't playing there. He will be playing there. I mean, the Pistons are kind of overperforming a bit. They are, I think, 5-2 or something like that. ATS. They are covering these big spreads pretty consistently, and Milwaukee just, I mean, yeah, they look at the Lakers last night. I mean, they barely won against the shitty team. The Bucks won't fight to cover this. I don't think you can lay like this many points here, to be honest. And we have way better games to talk about. The next one is another good one. Phoenix Suns hosting the Toronto Raptors. This one opened Phoenix -1.5. That's an atrocious line. It's up to 3.5. I think it's getting there where it should be. I make this Phoenix -4. Again, I fear that the Raptors start to play good basketball again. This is probably like the dead. I mean, the market won't be grading them worse than this. This is the bottom for them. They cannot beat anyone, but they still have a strong defense. And if stuff starts to click with a couple of the new guys, they might be better down the line. But losing Gasol and Ibaka obviously is showing in their production. So yeah, Toronto is like a top 10 defense in my opinion, but Phoenix is even better than them defensively, and they have an offense. That's the difference because Toronto is just the bottom 5 offensively, one of the worst rebounding clubs. They don't throw free throws. What they do in the half court is just pathetic at this point. There is always, I mean, with these teams, they do have the talent. They can always start to click from one day to another. But until we see that, I think you have to go with the more established team that has good chemistry and is showing us good stuff from both ends of the floor. So yeah, I kind of like Phoenix here, to be honest. But yeah, not a lot of value left in this number. Maybe if this gets back down to 3. I don't think we'll see 2.5, but yeah, the Phoenix Suns could be a good bet tonight. Sacramento Kings hosting Chicago Bulls. This opened Sacramento -6, got up to -7. Lots of factors here. I really want to fade the Kings, and I like backing the Bulls. As you know, I bet them last night. They not just covered the +10, but they won outright. But it's a third and fourth back-to-back. They have 4 missing guys from the rotation, and Zach LaVine played 43 minutes last night, and White played 39 minutes. I mean, they left them out to die, and they won the game. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if either or both of them will sit tonight. this is a 4-game road trip for the Bulls, and they will play the Clippers and the Lakers after this. So they know that they will lose the final 2 games. They went all in on the first game. I would probably expect a good effort here, but I mean, they barely have any players left with the COVID guys being out and Lavin probably sitting. If Lavin is out and this gets to like a 9, I would probably just sprinkle the Bulls, as the Kings are, as I said, like average offensively, slightly below average defensively. They aren't a good team. They shouldn't be laying big numbers. So yeah, it's Bulls or bust for me, but it's really hard to expect a lot from this team in such a bad scheduling spot. Last game on the docket: Golden State Warriors hosting the LA Clippers. Game is off the board. What we had here is a -5 on with the Clippers, so they are laying 5 points on the road. That will move towards Golden State for sure now. This is a back-to-back for the Clippers, 3rd game in 4 nights. Some people are shitting on these angles, but I do think they are worth something, especially in after such a short off season, and the players aren't really in shape. And the Clippers are also coming off elevation, so that's also not really good. And they averaged around 35 minutes per head last night. The other issue we have to talk about is Paul George. He was sitting out, but it wasn't a rest case. So he was legit banged up. And what I've read this morning, based on that, if I would have to say right now, I don't think he plays tonight. So yeah, a team that played a ton in Utah, back-to-back 13 for probably no PG. I mean, if George is sitting, this will come down a lot. If Paul George plays, I would make this probably Clippers -2.5, 3. If he is out, this will move down to like LA -1, even close to a pick'em. I'm not really happy that I mean, if you find the Golden State +5 right now on any of your soft books that have these lines up, like Bet365 has a Golden State +5 up. If you want line value, jump on that. That will surely move towards the Warriors. But I really wanted to back LA here. That was my original idea. I mean, off a loss, etc., etc. But with these minutes and George's injury situation, and this 5, I mean, this line, I don't know who put this up, but I mean, the Warriors aren't great, but they are starting to click. They won 4 out of the last 5. I think there is some potential there. Yeah, but I mean, if this comes down to like a pick'em or even flips, I would probably think about playing the Clippers. But there will be some probably big line moves in this game this afternoon. So yeah, this was it for today. I'm just going to quickly recap. Pacers Rockets, I think the Pacers are the right side. You can still catch a cheap money line. I kind of like Philly against the Wizards. I think Miami is getting a bit too much respect by the odds makers in the market so far. Hawks could be overlooked. Yeah, the Pelicans are laying a bit too many points here, but I'm not sure you can back OKC at this point. I think the Suns will continue, Phoenix will continue to get some action here until we see why would we back Toronto. So yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We have a shorter slate. I think, yeah, 5 games tomorrow. Thank God. Yeah, today has been rough. So yeah, if you want to tell my plays, go to patreon.com/thebarrelzone. You can join the Discord channel. We had some overnight plays last night. We went 2-0 last night. Hopefully this will be a good season. It's really not easy to perform well in this COVID era, but yeah, we are doing our best. So I see you guys tomorrow, and thanks